Good afternoon, everybody. Buon pomeriggio a tutti. Thanks for your presence. It's a great pleasure and honor in my quality of President of the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce to host in the February Small Talk of the Chamber the Deputy Minister of Research, Innovation and Digital Policy of the Republic of Cyprus, His Excellency Kyriacos Kokkinos, and the Chief Scientist for Research and Innovation of the Republic, Dr. Nikolas Mastroyiannopoulos, that I warmly thanks for the presence. The Smart Talk has the aim to present and discuss the relevant opportunities that Cyprus offers to Italian companies in the research, innovation, and digitalization sector, also linked to the European Recovery Plan, and will be moderated by Andrea Marchetti, partner of Tonucci & Partners, a very well-known law firm based in Italy, also present with important partnership in Cyprus, directly designated by the valued member of the advisory board of the chamber, Mario Tonucci. Before to start with the discussion, I have the pleasure to remember the institutional meeting that we had in Nicosia in September 2020 with the Deputy Minister Kokkinos, where we outlined a path of institutional cooperation, planning future activity and promotion actions. And I really appreciated his pragmatic and operative approach, surely also linked to the important experience that he gained in the executive management roles in the industry before to be appointed first as Chief Scientist for Research and Innovation of Cyprus, and on March 2020 as Deputy Minister for Research, Innovation and Digital Policy. A role from that date covered by Dr. Nikolas Mastroyiannopoulos, that after an extensive experience, mainly gained in biomedical and genetic research, received a specific political mandate to lead and coordinate all efforts to make the Cyprus a dynamic and competitive economy driven by research, scientific excellence, innovation, technological development, entrepreneurship, and a regional hub in these fundamental areas. Before to leave the floor to Andrea, I would like to remark that all the economic sector where the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce is actively present in the promotion, in terms of promotion and development of the business relation between Italy and Cyprus, are always more linked to the innovation that we believe is an important driver to develop the huge potential in terms of cooperation between the two countries. And the focus of today's discussion will be surely a further confirmation. Let's start then. Please, Andrea.
Thank you, Giuseppe. I join your welcome to this esteemed guest. Thank you so much to the Mr. Deputy Minister and Mr. Chief Scientist. I think that today we say we are holding a smart talk that is, in my opinion, a very good description with reference to matters such as innovation and digitalization. I'm a lawyer and I'm a partner of Tonucci & Partners. We, as a lawyer, are really close to business people, and I have to say that more and more often we have been asked by companies and investors about Cyprus and the opportunities in Cyprus. Before we start with a few questions on the today matter, I wish to share some general view because as all of you are fully aware, people well understand that Cyprus is a natural crossroad among Europe, Asia and Africa. Allow me to remind that Cyprus joined the European Union in 2004 and has adopted the euro currency since 2008. So no matter about the fact that Cyprus is a strategic location for running a global business today. There is a wide network of air and sea connectivity. The time zone is just 1 hour after the Italian time. The English language is widely used. The Cypriot law system is based on a mixture between the common law tradition and the continental one. So all, I have to say, very good elements for hard competition towards other countries. I should likely recall also the fact that the corporate tax income is just at 12.5% against 24% in Italy. Having said that, the need for innovation has become a commonplace across all countries, sectors, and organizations. And you would agree that in the latest years has been in all Europe an emergency call, I would say, for more and more innovation. We talk a lot about innovation in Italy as well, and wherever in the other part of Europe. Before the COVID pandemic, the innovation commitment of each nation maybe was perhaps a far-sighted choice of policy. Nowadays it is a necessity. And for a business organization, innovation should just contribute to select or improve products, services, or just reduce their cost. We know it. For citizens, innovation means a way to shape society for the better. And digital technologies play a key role within the scopes of both research and innovation. Innovation is very important when it comes to strategy. And today we talk about strategy and how strategy can lead to create business, open new markets, and enhance competition. So my first question is for Mr. Deputy Minister. And I would invite Mr. Kokkinos to give the audience a general overview about the main goals of the digital policy in Cyprus and the steps taken in the country. In particular, if you could focus on the sectors that in his view are more involved in the innovation strategy and the digital future of the nation.
Dear Andrea, thank you very much for the introduction, and allow me first to congratulate the Camera di Commercio Italo-Cypriota for taking this initiative and for giving me and to me and to Nikolas to position ourselves to share with you our aspirations and try together, not just through this event, but through a continuous collaboration to build business, cultural, and friendship bridges between Cyprus and Italy. And I would say instead of build, it's better to use the word enhance, strengthen, because the bridges are there. In Cyprus, we sometimes use the expression between Italians and Cypriots, una faccia, una razza. Because our history is also linked to the Italian history. Now, first of all, before I answer to your questions, allow me also to welcome and thank the support of His Excellency, the Ambassador of Italy in Cyprus, Mr. Andrea Cavallari, His Excellency, the Ambassador of Cyprus to Italy, Mr. Minas Hadjimikhail, Marino Giuseppe, whom we've already talked, the Vice President, Mr. Kostas Katsaros, you, of course, for taking the leading role to chair and coordinate this, and of course, my National Chief Scientist, Mr. Mastroyiannopoulos. Now, coming to your question, what this ministry is all about? Two basic pillars. One is the digital transformation at national level, which is an essential prerequisite for competitiveness of our economy and for social prosperity. The second pillar, which is directly linked to the meeting of this session this afternoon, a new revamped economic model for sustainability and prosperity of our two countries. What is this new economic model all about? Is to leverage technology for creating competitiveness, new jobs, new business relationships, new business models that will ensure not just for this government or for this decade, but for the years to come, a tight link between our European Union countries, and especially with Italy, because Italy is in our heart. It's not just any other country. We are both Mediterranean countries. We are both think and breathe the same sea air, and we understand each other in our music, in our food. So there is a lot in common. How do we create this? New economic model. That means focus on industries, specific industries. We are a very small country. Italy, of course, is much bigger. Financial services, technology, sciences, especially biomedical sector, and agriculture is one of the set of industries that we are focusing. And I'm sure that these industries are in your priorities as well. The other point that I want to raise is that what we have in common, both countries, despite the difference in size, is that we breathe through the lungs of our small, medium enterprises. Both geographies have a lot of dependency on small businesses. We are proud, both countries, about our family businesses and our small industries that collectively together, they create the wealth of our countries. Now, these small industries have a lot of challenges ahead, common challenges, competitiveness, sustainability. How do I leverage on technology, on the highways of our internet connectivity to create industries, to create the right environment for these small industries to remain small, but still keep producing their wealth. And Italy is probably the best example in the world where small businesses manage through the use of technology to create and sustain their character without spoiling the real essence of their roots, of their purpose. I see a lot of Italian companies, small companies in Milan area or in Rome or in Florence, agricultural products, clothing, fashion, arts, that they still remain, they maintain their character, but they use e-commerce and e-business to sustain and grow their clients without losing sight of their mission, their purpose, their roots, and their existence. This is an asset in Italy. Probably when you are an Italian, you cannot see it so clearly as we see it through our lenses. So my ministry is not just about in-government transformation or new technologies and artificial intelligence and blockchain and all that. It's that as well. But my primary mission is how can a small country in the corner of the European continent, being the bridge between Middle East, Israel, North Africa, can host and be the base for these geographies and collaborating with other European countries like Italy to become the hub for innovation, for knowledge creation, for that will lead to sustainability of our country in terms of economic viability and competitiveness, not just viability, but also to jointly confront global challenges like green transitioning, climate change, and biosciences. Why these three? Because these three are important to all geographies, but at the same time, Cyprus and Italy have the same point of view and the same challenges to address. So we need to create a fit for the future society. That's my mission, and knowledge-based economy that effectively leverages technology, not for the sake of technology, but to create a vibrant and robust environment that attracts businesses and talent, create new jobs and opportunities, and increase potential growth and competitiveness. We are very aware of our small size, less than 1 million population. Without building business bridges with our peers like Italy, Israel, we cannot have a bright future. In a globalized economy, where data is a key lever, it's a new form of capital, it's a new data economy, we need to leverage on that, and I'm confident that working together we can make it happen. I will stop here.
Thank you so much. I think that you have already triggered several questions in our mind, because to be honest, you have touched several items that are really, really interesting, and the view of the future is very challenging to any government. And I would say that the same issue is in Italy as in another country, and innovation is a huge effort to change society, but to preserve also the identity, the tradition of any country. So it's just not a matter of procedure and technology. And I would like to understand better, if it's possible, in terms of actions implemented or in course of implementation. I know that you deal on this with Mr. Mastroyiannopoulos, the chief scientist, but which are the main plans, which are the main action already taken or to be taken in order to implement the strategy?
Okay. In terms of research and innovation, my man is Mr. Mastroyiannopoulos. He is the execution arm of our strategy and our key initiatives, and he will elaborate on that. And we have a lot to talk about, and we can also share with the participants, if they want, our national strategy on research and innovation, which is very much linked to your strategy, because I've studied your strategy. Allow me to talk about the digital part, and then Nikolas can also elaborate on the research and innovation. In terms of digital, digital society and economy is our key initiative, and we just completed with the help of PricewaterhouseCoopers our national strategy on digital society and digital economy. It's quite a comprehensive set of programs through specific initiatives with owners, timings, and places. Included in this strategy is the digital governance in government, especially in a small country like Cyprus. If the government is not digitally fit, is not digitally enabled, then the small businesses cannot progress and become digitally enabled and digitally transformed. Because when you're a small company, if your government, which is the biggest organization, is the biggest company in the country, is not digitally transformed, the small businesses look at us as a role model. So our digital government program is for providing better services to our citizens. It's a very specific program. Is for optimizing the organizational functionality and performance of the government operations. But these are just two of the basic three. It's also a role model mission that we have, because without the government becoming digitally fit, the small, medium businesses or the private sector will not follow, because the scales are so different. The public sector in Cyprus, in a country of about 850,000 people, the public sector employees is around 65,000. Which is, I mean, the workforce in Cyprus is almost 400,000. It's 20% almost of the working population in Cyprus work for the public sector. So if this huge organization is not agile, is not digitally fit, then the others will not follow. We're touching things like our service delivery model, cloud-oriented rather than in-house, agile methodology instead of huge traditional system integration projects for the public sector, and government needs to operate government as a platform. And we heavily leverage on the private sector, and there is a huge opportunity for local and international companies like Italian companies to participate in this digital transformation, because we have a pipeline of projects in the public sector in the order of 350 million euros. It's a huge pipeline of projects in various ministries, and my ministry is in charge of orchestrating all these projects. But at the same time, we have huge opportunities in research and development, in research and innovation. Nikolas will elaborate on that. But also we have opportunities on connectivity, telecoms, and broadband connectivity. We just licensed 5G, and we have a program for broadband enhancement that we will allocate 50 million euros for our through government funds to support the broadband connectivity. And this is a private sector opportunity at the same time, because this will not be done by the government, it will be done by the private sector. And I welcome Italian companies and Italian prospective interested parties to participate. I don't know if it's the right time to hand over to Nikolas to talk about the research and innovation and how our scientists and our innovative entrepreneurs can collaborate on specific programs as well.
I think that we will get the chance to talk also in details about the connection between academia and industry. And Mr. Chief Scientist, welcome again. And first of all, I wish to congratulate about the transparency and the clarity of the information on the digital policy in Cyprus, because for foreigners having access through websites to such a large number of papers and information in a very clear, written in a very clear way, it's very valuable. So we already see that there has been impressive progress in the way of approaching the market. And of course, we are impressed about the fact that Cyprus has made a remarkable progress in research and innovation. And about that, the Deputy Minister has already provided a general view, but I would like for the audience to understand much more in details which are the main pillars of the innovation policy right now. If you can provide much more details on this.
Thank you, Andreas. First of all, I would like also to thank the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Giuseppe Marino. Thanks for your kind words. Andrea, thank you for your introduction and kind words. Also the ambassadors of both countries, and the kind words from my deputy minister is an honor. Cyprus has undoubtedly made significant progress in research and innovation in recent years, with the dynamics being reflected in the recent results of international indicators. Cyprus is only 3% away from a strong innovators category in the European Innovation Scoreboard, and it ranks 28th in the Global Innovation Index out of 129 countries. Nonetheless, we can and should optimize further our strategy. We should focus more on innovative entrepreneurship, translational research, as wisely said by the Deputy Minister. Medical sector is a huge, and health sector is a huge sector in our country, and we invest much in research in this sector. A strong and productive startup ecosystem that we see rising in our country. Without a doubt, all this significantly enhanced our competitiveness as a country. I strongly believe also that we should also invest more in infrastructures, further develop our human capital. This is a main priority for us and the deputy minister. In every meeting we go, the deputy minister always points out the need to develop our human capital. These are the main pillars and are pivotal for us and for the future of the R&I sector in this country. As the deputy minister said, the country needs a new economic model of sustainable development that will enhance its growth prospects. More specifically, Cyprus, I believe, should establish a triple helix model that would interconnect the academia, the industry, and the government in order to all together to work and create a hybrid system, obviously acknowledging the distinguished functions of the three and interconnect them in a way that we, at the end of the day, will succeed and we can deliver what is also planned in our national strategy for research and innovation. Equally important is the formation of a dynamic startup ecosystem with innovative enterprises being included into that. We should expand our extroversion characters and should be a culture of an entrepreneurial way of thinking. All of this, I believe, will horizontally bring value to all of the sectors and forms of the country. The deputy minister for sure can assure you that all stakeholders are working together towards the implementation of the government's reforms to improve the productivity and competitiveness of Cyprus. It's nice to have good strategies for R&I, but also you need reforms in order to support this strategy and these plans. I strongly believe that we all remain committed to build on what we have already achieved, but provide the necessary resources and continuity in order to even to bring more to our strategy and bring more to our country through the innovation, as you wisely said, Andreas.
Thank you. As we said, all of us, we agree that innovation should lead to a socio-economic prosperity. And of course, your policy aim at improving, enhancing prosperity in the country, so to allow the country also to export new services. My question is about, in your opinion, your view, which are right now the main innovation assets for the enhancement of socio-economic, of allowing Cyprus to export services right now? Because the Deputy Minister, rightly, he mentioned the fact that as Italy, Cyprus has a traditional network of small, medium business. Yeah. Of course, you can't just transform the society, but you can allow a progressive transformation of the way in which people can run business. And so, in your opinion, how do you see the main innovation assets for Cyprus?
I believe Cyprus has many assets, not innovation assets as such, that many assets that can support the innovation strategy and the innovation of this country. Cyprus has a long established itself as a thriving business hub. Obviously, from many thousand years ago, the geographical location of Cyprus was always something that was very important to our success as a country, being the bridge between Middle East, Africa, and Europe, as you guys said before. The local infrastructure is ideally suited for business people who need to get things done. This is my belief. Human talent constitutes of Cyprus' most compelling advantages, if I may say, complemented by a broad range of highly qualified professional services. I mean, 85% of our young generation studies in universities abroad or within the country. This shows our level of education, and they support how they can support this system. There is a very clear higher education ecosystem, as I said, with 9 universities for a small country like Cyprus, 6 centers of excellence, and many research organizations and institutes. We shouldn't forget also the Cypriot Greek diaspora that contributes to the efforts of strengthening our local ecosystem. And there is a very, the emerging innovation entrepreneurship ecosystem, I believe, is in place. We need to strengthen that and support it. The strong governmental commitment will enhance and support this ecosystem. As the Deputy Minister wisely said, I mean, the Deputy Minister works like horizontal and like an umbrella to all these targets that we have set. And I always say, they say to me that Cyprus is a small country and how we can compete to big innovators, etc. I always say, so this is something very important for us. We are small, so we are the perfect sandbox for new technologies, or we are the perfect test bed for innovative companies and startups. So you have to embrace the fact that in order to bring something innovative to the market, you always measure the cost effect that you need to test that before going globally. So we have all the recipes in place, and we believe that we can thrive through innovation and become a regional innovation hub, as the Deputy Minister said.
Thank you so much. Mr. Deputy Minister, I'm wondering, how do you see foreign companies to play a role within the large strategy of the government for innovation, for digitalization? And in particular, we know that you know quite well Italy, and you appreciate our companies, our traditional business. You say that we are similar in a certain way, and I totally agree with you. And if you see any specific opportunities in the near future for foreign companies and maybe Italian companies in this process?
Yeah. Very good question. Allow me to start from the research and then go through the whole life cycle of entrepreneurship to commercialization. Okay. At research level, Cyprus has excellent qualitative-wise research ecosystem. And this is a huge opportunity for Italian researchers to collaborate in Horizon Europe programs, in innovative entrepreneurship, in a partnership program of the European Union, or the Digital Europe program, or the Connecting Europe facility, for our research ecosystem and academia to collaborate together. Because academia is not a standalone silo of ecosystem. It's integrated, or at least it should be integrated into the economy and into the business environment. Cyprus is second after Israel in our region in terms of innovation. So Cypriots, like Italians, we are very good entrepreneurs. And when we see the money, we go after the money. And when we see that there is a research idea can be converted into an innovation and commercialize this research intellectual capital, we go after that. And Cyprus is a very good opportunity for Italian companies, is the hidden gem, I would say, for Mediterranean, because for Italian companies that are in the innovation of technology, sciences, agrotech, if they want to expand their reach in terms of markets towards Middle East or Africa or Israel, this is the place to be. This hidden gem has been already discovered by other geographies, primarily Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Germany now, UK, and they use Cyprus as their home base or for part of their operations because of the reach out that they want to have on the local intellectual capital, on our talent pool, but primarily for their reach out to the geographies that are much closer geographically, but also our excellent relationship. For example, a lot of Israeli companies now are in Cyprus for many reasons, one of them being the fact that Cyprus is so close to them, and through Cyprus, they are European, they're based in the European Union countries, but at the same time, they can reach geographies and markets that cannot be reached by Israel, because Israel is an island. When it comes to the political situation, it's surrounded by countries that are not accessible by Israelis. So Cyprus is a natural choice for Israelis. The same happens for Lebanon now. Cyprus is the natural choice. So Cyprus is already an international business center for Italian companies to establish operations. And what I commit to your audience at this moment, and of course, through the Chamber of Commerce of Italy and Cyprus, is that we can be their single point of contact for interested parties, to listen to them, to tailor our offer to their needs, always within, of course, the European framework of regulatory and other aspects. The huge opportunity also for the national market, not just for international operations, is digitalization. It's a huge opportunity. I remember Sogei, an Italian company, very famous, has been collaborating with our public sector, the Inland Revenue Department, for very important businesses. There is a huge opportunity for Italian companies to help me out on my digital journey. As I said, there is a pipeline of 350 million euros of projects.
Thank you so much.
Also, Cyprus, and this is something that I'm working on now, we're trying to reconfigure and enhance our already very attractive and business-friendly environment for international investors through things that I might elaborate later.
Thank you. You refer several times, of course, to Israel, and as a matter of geopolitical matter, and we know that Israel is a largely competitive country and is very attractive for technology. And we have heard that also Cyprus is preparing something new, a national strategy in order to attract high-tech and sciences company. I don't know if you can provide some information on this. It's too early.
Oh, yes.
Oh, great.
Draft to be finalized within the next 4 weeks. Cyprus as a technology and sciences and startups hub. This is the plan. It's my new Bible, not finalized yet. I will pass it to my ministerial council so that it's an official national document. What are the main provisions? As I said before, Cyprus is a very attractive jurisdiction, a very business-friendly jurisdiction for international companies. What we're trying to do is to just make it even better through revisiting our institutional environment focused on changing the regulatory play field and introducing new fiscal policies such as tax incentives for corporates and individuals, streamlining business and immigration policies and work permits provision. Such policies will include introduction of a new high-tech visa for science and technology professionals at personal and corporate level, in addition to existing startup visa program that we already have, and also to simplify and digitize our company-related processes when you apply for establishing a business in Cyprus. Another aspect of this document here is the human capital. I mean, talent is a key challenge everywhere, not just in Cyprus. Cybersecurity, agile methodology professionals, project managers, new technologies in blockchain and data scientists, artificial intelligence, all these are, scarce resources everywhere, I'm sure in Italy as well. So we're trying to improve our talent pool availability, but at the same time create collaborations with institutions like the respective institutions in Italy, encouraging cross-fertilization and amalgamation of knowledge. As I said before, I'm fully aware of our small size. Sometimes small is beautiful, sometimes not. We're trying to keep and enhance our small is beautiful motto for certain things. For things that small is not an advantage, we are collaborating. And this is part of the purpose of this meeting today, to see how we can collaborate on a mutual benefit basis. So human capital and talent is another aspect. Infrastructure, of course, is extremely important, that is provisional on this, and market sophistication and new business model. We're trying to assess what is our current operating model on every industry sector, but also as a national economy overall. We define our target operating model at the national level as well as on a sectorial basis, and then we create the roadmap. And in this roadmap, from the current state of affairs to the target operating model, I'm sure that Italian companies have every good reason to trust and collaborate with us. Equally, we want opportunities for Cypriot companies to collaborate for the Italian market with through your chamber, and this is the way forward. So yes, of course, my high-tech and sciences Bible or manifesto that I've just showed you here is there is a lot of opportunity for both geographies, and once this is finalized, I will share it with you, and you can put it on your website, and you can share it with any interested parties. We are very transparent and very open to discuss, because transparency and clear dialoguing is extremely essential in our business relationships. And this is a foundation for friendship, of course.
Thank you. I think that being transparent and clear is one more assets for innovation.
Exactly.
And we mentioned the fact that among the scopes of an innovation strategy, of course, there is the purpose of enhancing services in Cyprus to be exported. And an important role should be played by startups who can innovate, who can provide new services in the future. Mr. Chief Scientist, and so we know that Cyprus has already a startups community, but there are specific incentives and funding opportunities for setting up a startup now, today in Cyprus. There are plans, strategy to come in order to support much more better the startup ecosystem in Cyprus. Can you provide some details?
Yeah, of course. First, I always say, you should invest in your startups, and then countries like Italy and your ecosystem are more likely to get closer to us and collaborate. So we have to have something there to collaborate. So as the chairman of the Research and Innovation Foundation, which is actually the executional arm of the Deputy Ministry, we are funding startups in order to create this vibrant ecosystem of startup companies. More than 20 million euros was invested in these startups the running year. So yes, and for sure, there are a lot of incentives for our startups, for investors. So we have created when the deputy minister, I believe, had the chief scientist position, the certificates of the innovative enterprises scheme. So it's a scheme where the innovation and the startup companies get a seal of innovation, and then investors can invest in these companies and have various of tax incentives by investing in this these innovative companies and enterprises. So we have the Cyprus Startup Visa also scheme, which obviously allows talented entrepreneurs from third countries and individuals or teams to enter and reside their work in Cyprus. And we have a good tax incentive for investing in innovative enterprises. But it's not always a matter of investment. What we can get out of the Italian ecosystem, let's take it there, is not always the tax incentives, etc. So the deputy minister wisely said, you are the nation of arts, you are the nation of fashion, you are the nation of nice developments and languages and philosophy and medieval sciences, etc. So
and great food.
And great food, exactly. So I believe success lies in the intersection between innovation and humanities, right? So Italy has mastered that. So and also Stephen Jobs in every launch, he always puts a slide that shows the intersection between humanities and technology, and he said that humanities and arts and all these disciplines are embedded within the DNA of Apple. So I would say that a great initiative between us will be to share this intersection together and become more innovative as countries and make this a reality in the near future, to come up with new innovations that arise through our collaboration.
Thank you. I would have so many questions to both of you, and I know that the time is running, so I will try to speed up because we have some time constraint. So I will address two questions that very quickly to Mr. Deputy Minister. Personally speaking, as a citizen and as a lawyer, I'm very scared about cyber security, the security matter. And so I would like to share the view of the Deputy Minister on this, because it's also a matter of general strategy. And if you can also provide some view on the smart cities, this project for the future. So how do you think about the cybersecurity issue and the smart cities?
Okay. Very quickly, because time is short. On cybersecurity is a challenge globally, and it's not just a technology challenge. It's a political boardroom and business boardroom challenge, and it's high on the agenda, because data economy means new challenges in terms of cybersecurity. For this reason, our government has established a national security board where I am chairing, and all ministers that have security sensitive challenges are participating, and we are hugely investing on protecting our infrastructures. But at the same time, protecting is not enough. You need to educate your people, your business community, how to be protected in a proactive way. So we have set aside quite a huge budget on our Ministry for Cybersecurity for educating businesses and also enhancing our infrastructures. Now, in a globalized economy where internet and data economy is prevailing, no one can claim that it's 100% secure and 100% bulletproof from hackers, but that's the kind of world that we'll all live, and we have to just be aware and proactive rather than reactive. In terms of smart cities, in Cyprus, because of the small size of the country, there is a huge number of municipalities. Each municipality was undergoing its own smart cities initiative. We realized that this doesn't work because being a small city of 50,000 people and have a smart city strategy is not cost effective and is not results effective. So what we have done at ministerial council level, we took the decision that my ministry will orchestrate a nationwide platform and strategy for smarter cities. And this is another huge opportunity for Italian companies, because I know that you have good technology on Internet of Things, on connectivity, and on specific solutions that I am very much aware that they exist in Italian companies to leverage and collaborate with us and go after the opportunity, because now we just have one smart city. It's called Smart Cyprus.
Thank you so much. My final question to Mr. Chief Scientist and the very final one afterwards to the Deputy Minister. So, Mr. Yiannopoulos, and now, you know, all countries in Europe are waiting for the recovery plan, the recovery funds. So there is a huge debate about that. So which are the opportunities you see about the use of funds of the recovery plan for Cyprus, and in your view, what you would expect, how you would expect to use such funds within the innovation strategy? Sorry, you have the mute.
You see, it's not only digital. You need the manual as well. So the manual functions. So yeah, a very good question, Andreas. I think the Resilience Recovery Fund is a great opportunity, and I believe it's at the right time for us. So we have in couple 2-3 years ago, we have invested a lot in research and innovation, and we have created the base. So now I believe we have submitted specific proposals related to the designing of funding programs under the scheme of the RRF, the Resilience Recovery Fund, which I entirely support. A lot of work have been done by the Deputy Ministry and us at the Research and Innovation Foundation in order to give in a good proposal and a good plan in order to further develop innovative entrepreneurship, green transition, bring together the academia and the industry, expand the synergies between them, because it's the only way in order for translational research, let's say, to become a part of the market and part of our innovation strategy eventually in our new model of economy. We are going to establish a national knowledge transfer office, which is going to be centralized. So I believe we have all the right ingredients in order to further expand by using the recovery and resilience plan. But also, I believe as a country, we have done well in the Horizon Europe 2020. Cyprus ranked first in the EU in terms of per capita absorption of funds from Horizon 2020. We have 6 centers of excellence funded by the European Commission that are supporting our national strategy for research and innovation. I believe we have managed to double our gains from Horizon Europe compared to the previous framework. So I believe history is there. When history is there, I believe success will follow. The only thing we have to do is to keep engaged, commit to our strategy, work efficiently, and deliver what is needed within time.
Thank you so much. Mr. Deputy Minister, my final question, and the pandemic crisis has shown to everybody the importance of research and development and of a very good and efficient healthcare system. Digitalization could impact and has to impact on such sectors. How have innovation and digitalization impacted already in Cyprus on such sectors? There is much more to do. There are specific plans on this.
Well, you know, Cyprus, like all countries, including Italy, we have been reactive to the pandemic. The pandemic came first, and then we went after to see how technology, innovation, digitalization can help us. And at least I can claim, or at least my co-citizens in my country recognize that, fortunately, technology worked in favor in coping with pandemic. Pandemic will go away. It's not this month, it's next quarter, it's within the year, will go away. What we need to keep is the lessons learned. So next time, if we don't watch that, we don't want this to happen, but we need to be better prepared for another global crisis of the order and magnitude of the pandemic. The second thing that we need to keep is our use of technology has been forcefully invaded our everyday life and has also prompted innovation to come up with new ideas, new ways of working, new ways of collaborating. In Cyprus, it was inconceivable in the past that public sector employees would be allowed or asked to work from home. Teleworking or teleschooling has been forcefully embedded into our life, e-learning. When the pandemic will go away, we need to keep these lessons learned and innovative ways of working and living so that we leverage technology better and faster. When it comes though to highly demanding deep sciences, not just the teleworking and the e-learning, which is a business model, is not a high-tech model. But when it comes to sciences, we need to be better prepared to use high-tech sciences like life sciences, pharmaceutical sector, agrotechnology, climate change, coping with all these challenges using innovation. The innovation has prompted a lot of youngsters, young people, to go into sciences, technology, engineering, mathematics direction because they've seen the value of technology in the past 12 months in coping with the pandemic. So now we have to orchestrate, not just leave it randomly to happen, orchestrate and coordinate in a well-crafted national plan how we can collaborate and orchestrate all these resources and intellectual capital together. And when I say national plan, that's another great opportunity that we can collaborate between Cyprus and Italy. I feel that this kind of challenge at the national level is the same challenge with the Italian company, with the Italian government, as well as with the Greek government and other Mediterranean governments. So we can establish, if you wish, a joint committee to work together how sciences and technologies can help us being more sustainable, competitive, social welfare and social prosperity, leveraging on the lessons learned from the pandemic and Horizon Europe, Connected Europe Facility, and Digital Europe. These three European Union programs are a great platform for working together, Greece and Cyprus.
Thank you so much, Tekin Vote, for your very valuable time and information. let's terminate. I would invite Mr. Katsaros, the Vice President of the Chambers. Mr. Katsaros, for our audience, is not only the Vice President of the Chambers, also a senior partner, founder of Emilianos Katsaros, a well-reputed law firm and advisory firm in Cyprus. We, of course, cooperate for assisting companies and investors in their international activities between Cyprus and Italy. So, Mr. Katsaros, if you can...
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much for your good words. We would like, on behalf of the Chamber, of course, to thank His Excellency, the Deputy Minister, Mr. Kokkinos, and the Chief Scientist of the Ministry, Dr. Mastroyiannopoulos, for the time they devoted and the way that they guided us through the policies and the strategy of the Ministry during these very interesting and strange times. Through your very well spotted questions, Andrea, they had the opportunity to lead us, I would say, and post even innovative ideas, as the last one I heard from the Deputy Minister, for example, for potential as the formation of a joint committee between Southeastern Mediterranean countries on policies on these matters. They made a great presentation of the way that government, industry, and the academic world may collaborate in order to provide solutions during this era. Mr. Kokkinos referred to the Bible, as he described it, that is under the final stage of formation from the ministry in order to present Cyprus as a hub for startups and the research and technology center. And I would say that as a chamber, as you very well stressed, the members collaborate in order to enhance the relationship between Italian companies, Italian organizations, and the Cypriot ones. Technology and innovation is one of the major fields that we are working on. I have to say that Tonucci is a member of the biggest technology legal network globally, TechLaw. So it's a pure example in our sector, in the legal sector, on how a firm can elaborate on these matters. I would say that it was a very, very interesting webinar, a very interesting session. We are very thankful to your presence, and we are keen on continuing this collaboration, these efforts in order to bring the two countries and their stakeholders together and move forward towards this very interesting era. Thank you also, Giuseppe, for the chance to meet again through this webinar, and all the attendants, the interest of whom was until the end, without stop, and their presence here is very, very important. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all. I think we can say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
I hope
Arrivederci. Thank you very much.
Arrivederci. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.